Thank you guys again for joining us Dentsu Rise Up Challenge workshop. So today we have Chaminda Dias who will be talking about how media innovation actually changes culture. It's an exciting topic to listen to. And Chaminda is a seasoned media expert. I mean, just a couple of words about Chaminda. Chaminda has been in the business of media for over 20 years. And he's a very keen follower of international and futuristic trends, especially about media. And he also has a lot of experience buying media worldwide, not just in Sri Lanka, because Chaminda was working for Qatar Airways for more than 8 years, and he has been doing destination marketing for more than 120 destinations. And also he has been a part of one of Sri Lanka's largest media buys for Sri Lanka T-Board, buying media over quite a few international markets. So I know for a fact that he works with a lot of media agencies around the world through Dentsu Network, uh, buying and planning for Sri Lanka T-Board. So I don't want to take much of this time. So I want to hand you over to Chaminda, who will share valuable insights about coming up with media ideas that will change culture. Chaminda, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ajit. Thank you, everybody. So it's a rainy day, and I think everybody is glued to their screens and having a coffee or tea or something like that. So welcome to the innovation in terms of changing culture. Just to take few seconds, let me allow you to give you a little bit of background. I think Sajid, thank you very much. He gave an introduction of who I am and what I've done. Um, I think I would dissect it in a different, slightly a different way. I've been in the industry in the most interesting times. When I joined the industry, it was a time that we used to carry, paste up artworks. And then I've seen the digital transformation to digital artworks. We've been carrying spool tapes. Probably some of you would have even not seen spool tapes in your time. Now it's all digitally transferred documents and commercials and everything. So it's how the industry has shaped over the period of time. So it's interesting time. So let's get on to the presentation. I just wanted to talk about the innovations and that comes in changing culture. So if I were to start off, see, typically in the olden days, uh, this is how innovation and inventions are separated, because there is a distinct differentiation between innovation and invention, because they happen in two different time zones. Now, probably nowadays it's not the case, but this is how it is dissected, and it's been given innovation and invention are separated. So why do we say that? If you look at invention, is an idea or a model that is theoretical. It can be presented in a theoretical manner, and then people could say that these are some of the inventions that can be done, whereas the actual implementation takes after a while. And this is basically, this is the innovation that takes place after a while. Now there is often a long time span between the two, but we see as we go forward, um, the times have changed. I don't think there is a big difference between innovation and invention today, because things come to light as we speak. Probably which I call it an invention now. In few seconds, it'll be an innovation. That's how the world has come together in terms of innovations and inventions. So if you look at just taking a step back, if you look at this image, this is a model that was developed by Leonardo da Vinci. Basically, he invented the drawings. Now, using the drawings, people made this model after that. the drawings of a helicopter. So actually, this was done in 1400s, but actually it was never came to life until after about 500 years. So again, going back to the point, inventions are very little because they are novel ideas. They are ideas that are generated by people, but then they get executed into an invention later on after some time. So that's how the innovations and inventions are kind of looked at in terms of timing. Now, if you look at innovations, again, technology and innovations are incredibly linked because um, not like the past days or past times, the present and the future is incredibly linked with technology because technology also depends on digital. So digitally, everything is available in quick seconds or quick minutes, and then that's where the gap between invention and innovation is kind of reduced. So it's like invention a few moments back might be an innovation after 1 minute. So if you look at why we think that it is incredibly linked also is that if you look at Apple, I like to always take Apple as one of the brands that I talk in my presentations because not only because they are a tech giant, but they've kind of changed the world and how we see the world or how we consume things have changed. Apple has managed to change it. So Apple is one of the inventions that they did is kind of bringing in music that is commercially usable. This was not possible before that. It was not commercially available. Like we all had to go to a music store and buy a CD or even a cassette or get it recorded. So that's how it was commercially available. But then Apple made it a point to kind of get that into a one single screen, and you just click on it, and then you pay online, and then there you go, you have the music with you. So they are also that is also one of the inventions that I would say is what portrays these inventions that we are talking about. Now, innovations are all around us, because it is as like I said, with the digital acceleration, you see that innovations are taking place day in and out. Now, one thing is music streaming. If you look at Google and Facebook are challenging in terms of advertising income for in the industry, and also you look at the directions on how increasingly demands are coming into play, and also that there are products and positions and everything's have been kind of started changing, and it is innovation all around us. Now, yesterday, one of the examples to give is yesterday, Netflix announced that they're going to release consumer data in terms of who their consumers are or who's watching Netflix. And that was not something that was available a few days back. So they've kind of come out and said, look, like another television operator or a satellite operator, they will also release their consumer data, who's watching what ages, what are their capabilities in terms of financial capabilities, or what are their interests. So these are innovations, and I think digital has really accelerated the innovations and inventions around us. So if you look at media innovations, we basically say that media innovations are kind of classified, or rather there are few elements that we kind of look at. Now, product innovation, I don't need to go to details because product innovation is an innovation that there is some sort of innovation that's done to the product so that it is easy to consume or easy to watch or something like that. Process innovations are, the way that you do some processes has been innovated so that you cut down on the number of steps, or so that the process is much more shorter. Position innovation is also something that we do in and out. We do innovations in terms of positioning it, into different audiences that we want. Probably some brands that position mid-level, we would want to take it up to a higher tier so that we can attract the high net worth individuals. So position innovations also we do. And the other one is paradigmatic innovation. So that this is one of the crucial things. Now this innovation basically calls out for innovations that are done, life-changing innovations, like when Henry Ford found the first car, and then from that first car to becoming it electric car. Now that's a car becoming an electric car than using biofuel is like a economic change. It's a shift in how people think. It's a shift in the whole traveling industry. Now we even see that DHL's famous carrier, global courier company DHL, that comes from Germany, all their long distance traveling trucks are electric powered. So that's where a huge change that has come into innovation. And then the last one is we look at is social innovations, like where people tend to, innovations that comes with social needs and improves people's lives. So these are few of the elements that we need to understand in innovation. um, and this is how innovations are kind of, looked at it in terms of taking it forward. Now if you look at another point, another angle for innovations are, um, how good it is, or the degree of novelty, or what is being innovated, what's so new about it, what does it going to do, what is it going to economically or socially change people's lives. So degree of novelty is also something which is very important, because that also brings a certain amount of, that depends on the impact that you get. And incremental innovations are, gradual improvements. Like you will see certain improvements coming into certain products. Maybe you see one of the drinks that you have is added with vitamin C, or added with some vitamins, or added with more sugar. So these are incremental innovations. They're not far-reaching, but they are also they're incremental innovations. And the other one is, the last one is a kind of a disruptive innovation. Now, that's also a kind of radical innovation where radical thinking has come into play. And then where there was some of the airlines was testing, like GE and Boeing, all of them, sorry, GE and Rolls-Royce, the biggest airline engine makers, were testing whether they can fly aircrafts using biofuel rather than using fossil fuel. So that's a huge destructive innovation. It'll change our skies. It'll change the CO2 emissions that we put into the to the ozone layer. It'll change the whole term of traveling by aircraft. So disruptive innovations are hard to come by. We don't see them every day in and out in the world, but they are in a way disrupting the normalcy. They'll bring in something that people think about. Oh wow, I never thought about this. This is something to go by. So now I've given the past few slides was just to explain to you what are innovation, how innovations are looked at, and also how do we say when an invention or innovation is done. Now, all of these innovations and inventions need a sort of a vessel, or sort of a carrier that takes them out into the world. Now, as we know, like a creative or a message, uh, best kept in your cupboard rather than putting out to the people. So you need to find a vessel. You need to find a way to communicate with your audiences. Now that's where the media part comes in for the innovations, where media kind of takes precedence of taking that innovation, uh, taking it to the right audiences or to the right people or to the right people that we want to talk to. And the people who we are looking at a change, we want a culture change in certain amount of people or a certain cluster of people. So this has to be communicated to them. Now, without communication, this cannot be done. This is why the communication part becomes very important. Now, if you look at in terms of communication, we had only print, radio, television, outdoor, probably activations, promotions in the past for us to kind of take this conversation forward or take our innovations to all the people. But as we go along, we see that so many different, with the digital acceleration and with the internet coming into play and digital coming into play, you see that so many different platforms are available, like television to programmatic television to digital out of home to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, whatever you name it, because all of these platforms are available today for messaging. And the beauty about it is all the people who do inventions that wants to take it to a culture change or a society change is also looking at how these can be tailor-made to a certain platform. Now, they may not do the same thing what they do on radio, on print, or on Facebook, or in Instagram, or on TikTok. So we all know, if you look at all these social platforms, they also stand for certain things. Now, if you look at Instagram, Instagram is very much of you're following people and you're looking at people and what they have been doing. But then if you look at it from a Facebook point of view, it is slightly different. Or if you look at TikTok, it's entirely different. And how TikTok's algorithms work. They pre-think for us and deliver the next video that we want to view. How advanced is that? So basically, this is where media comes into play. And what we need to remember is we will not be able to play the same innovation in all the platforms. We will need to make sure that the innovations are tailor-made to the platform, or there are some adaptations, some changes, modifications are done to fit into that particular platform. So from here onwards, I would like to take you all to a couple of the case studies. I think that are interesting, how change has come about, how media has kind of influenced people to change their way of doing things or way of looking at things or way of consuming things. That's where the media part comes in terms of media innovations. Now, let's look at some work. This is one of the most interesting ones for me because this comes from Volkswagen, the German car brand. In terms of looking at all the tensions that when they travel, you see that when families travel, all the kids at the back and the parents in the front, kids are glued to their screens, and you see them always looking at a screen and not looking at the outside world or enjoying the conversation or anything like that. And they're always at the back of the seat. And this was done in Netherlands. And then they found out from the research that 76% of the parents with children aged 13 to 16 say their child is typically on a device. Now, this is not only in Netherlands, but you find this in Sri Lanka also. You find that when you get into a car with your family, you find all the kids are on a digital platform. And then Volkswagen wanted to change this culture. They wanted to bring in something new into this. They thought this was boring. They thought that the growing up, the children, the future audiences are something that needs to have something better than using a digital device. So what did Volkswagen do? They basically, with Dentsu's help, they kind of developed a road tails app. Now the app is called Road Tails. Um, uh, so what this app does is it's basically a location-based audiobooks. Now, when you say audiobooks, they went after some of the renowned publishers and tale writers, kids tale writers, and got them into audio format, and also looking at all the objects on that road. They kind of made it a way that all those objects kind of come into your device, and talk about those things. So basically, they were like windmills, bridges, lakes. They will talk about they become story elements. They became historical elements, and then the same sound and the video could be played on your car audio video system, so that the whole family got together. And this is something interesting that Volkswagen did to change culture, to change how children behave, or the growing up ones behave in a family environment. There is a video for this. Let's look at the video now. So this was basically a mobile-driven idea where they took the kids in a vehicle to a totally different platform or totally different universe altogether. It's interesting how they thought about it. They've looked at a problem. They've looked at what can be done. They found out the statistics on the problem, and then they started doing it. The next one is also looking at uh, a culture change. Now, I think today in larger organizations, everybody is talking about inclusivity and equality, gender equality, and all those things in terms of working environments, corporate working environments. Now you see that building on this, some of the factors is in if you look at in this particular example, Qatar Airways is a multicultural, multi-ethnicity company which has people from different part of the world in different countries. So it was a diverse team of people who was working towards one goal. Now this is particularly about Qatar Airways Cargo, how they wanted to kind of embrace their staff, looking at them and saying that all this was possible only because they had a multicultural, multi-ethnicity employee workforce, and they went on to kind of take this conversation forward, and bring in change within the organization. So actually, they were portraying their own people saying that this is the strength of the company for them to move things from A to B. Let's look at their video. So without only producing a video, whatever it is, they went and did a marvelous thing. They went and changed the livery of the plane. Um, plane livery is very expensive. They can be only done in certain places in the world, probably only by the manufacturer, because they have to be done at that standard, which can stand 33,000 feet of pressure and cold and ice and all those things. So it's not an easy thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do. But what they did was they took one extra step further and took this to the next level. They basically went and changed their livery on the cargo aircraft and put their staff photographs on the livery, and it said moved by people. Just imagine how they have felt, the team or the staff, how would have felt. They would have felt so inclusive, so much owned by their employer. So this is again bringing in a culture change. They wanted their staff to understand that it is moved by people, moved by these different ethnicities of people, different nationalities of people. They just don't say it, but they put it into action. And that's how. So this is like different medias being used. In some cases you see media, like you see digital or traditional or radio or TV being done. But then in this case, they took it to life by using a outdoor activity. It's just like an outdoor billboard, but then this is a walking billboard. Just imagine the amount of flight miles that this cargo flight put on the meter. They'll put like 20, 30, 40,000, 50,000 miles of traveling around the globe, and people start talking about it. So they took it into a moving billboard, not only to a digital platform, not only to television, but then to a moving aircraft. So let's look at the next example. This is also one of the campaigns that I really like, and this was done in 2004. So probably all of you all might know about this, because this is slightly older than the other ones that I showed you. This is again talking about a real beauty. In terms of how people used to look at it, beauty. Some people said that it was being fair is beauty, being dark is beauty, or being tall is beauty, being short is beauty. It was different ways of looking at it, and people were increasingly dissatisfied, and how they looked and how they felt about their bodies. Then people started, kind of they started thinking, oh, I don't like my body anymore. And then this satisfaction was evident in the surveys that they did. They found out that people find it difficult to portray themselves in front of another person, or talk to someone in front of them. So they doubt being a product that really wants to talk about beauty and taking care of your beauty. They thought, let's take this into the people. Let's take this change. Let's not look at it beauty as in the literary term of beauty. So basically what they did was they did an amazing campaign around this. They kind of actually challenged the stereotype thinking, the negative type thinking, and they kind of started giving in a new life to the real beauty. What's real beauty is all about, and how maybe to beauty to you is beauty to someone else is different. So this is what they wanted to say. They had huge traction on this campaign. They did a website and also a series of videos, and taking this conversation forward. I think this is one of the greatest campaigns. Let's look at the video. Yeah, so that was all about, real beauty. How you would explain beauty, or someone else explain beauty about you. So it's interesting. These are all human truths, and 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 the innovation is that someone finding this truth, what needs to be done, or what is the real truth in it. And the innovation is taking it forward to all the audiences, or taking it public, or taking it to all the people that you want to kind of talk about. So if you look at the last one, I think this is also one of the personal best favorites that I have. I think this amazing work done by IKEA. I'm sure everybody knows about IKEA. IKEA is one of the famous uh, Swedish home store. They have stuff from furniture to bedding to linen to cutlery to crockery to glassware to everything that you can buy for a house. Very interesting concept. I think Swedes have done this the best way. I've not seen anything else compared even close to IKEA, because they're one of the go-to places if you want to buy stuff for your house. So IKEA saw that millions of pieces that they sell sometimes go waste every year, or people kind of throw away once the furniture is old. They kind of throw it away, or it's beyond repair, it cannot be used again. IKEA kind of thought about it and said, look, IKEA and Dentsu, the creative was again done by Dentsu team in Sweden. They thought, why don't we look at buying again, a buyback program? Why do we not have a buyback program? So they thought, okay, let's try and see what happens if you want to buy back, and let's try and convert this into a situation where you don't only sell but you also do buyback. And again, looking at the execution and the innovation, they went on to do it. They kind of transformed the entire Black Friday sale into a totally different concept. On the Black Friday sale, basically is selling stuff that all the stores have items that they want to kind of put away on sale. But this time they decided, no, let's buy everything on Black Friday sale, and then we will find a new home for these pieces. We'll find a new owner. We'll find a new use for it. And then basically it came to a point, they kind of implemented this throughout the US and throughout different other countries, and they made it a permanent program. The first year they did it in 2021 was only an experimental program. They just did an experiment. They wanted to see whether we will have traction on it. Yes, they did have traction on it, and they found out that people kind of was ready to buy back whatever the other stuff and then buy new product. And this was a perfect fit for the Swede IKEA company, who is looking at efforts to become a circular business by 2030. So this was the perfect fit. And then they went and kind of implemented it, and they saw the results coming in. Let's look at the video. There are two pieces. The first video is what was produced by IKEA in terms of talking to all the consumers. And the second one is the case study video that was created by Dentsu. So let's look at both of them without taking further time. So, like I said, it's interesting to see they changed the whole concept of selling to buying on the Black Friday sale. That's amazing. Who would have thought about it? It's just a simple human truth. It's just a simple, small human truth that innovators found out, and then the invention came out saying that let's try and do this, and it's a culture change. It's a change in people how people look at IKEA, and it's a change for IKEA because IKEA is working towards their 2030 circular program. So it all works well within their remit of things. Let's look at the other video, which is the case study by the agency, and let's have a final chat. Okay, so I think some interesting case studies. I think it would have helped you all to kind of take a look at it and understand how media innovations or how innovations come to life. How do they kind of affect our cultures, culture changes? Essentially, all of them are culture changes that we are looking at from different angles, different ways, with looking within the company, looking with their consumers, bringing in innovations that are simple, logical, but they're really groundbreaking innovations. They're kind of game changing innovations, and IKEA will kind of just imagine what they will kind of do in the future. They'll have less production costs because they're buying back stuff. They just have to remodify and sell it, find another home to it, and find another life for that piece of furniture. So it's interesting how things have kind of been turned around. So this is it. Hope you all enjoyed the information and the case studies. And hopefully this will help you to kind of thinking about our Rise Up challenge in the workshop series. Trying to understand what changes that we need to bring in, looking at a culture change or a culture shift, and enjoy the rest of the day. So thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you and have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Uh, Thank you, Chaminda. Thank you so much for that enlightening presentation. Because especially the two of these campaigns, I mean, we know for a fact that they have changed the culture, right? Real Beauty, you talked about it, and since Dove started working on this campaign, I think our cultural narrative and how we talk about beauty has definitely expanded. And I really love this IKEA case study. I didn't know about this until you shared it, actually. So those are some very useful insights. And so thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule. I know you're a very busy man, right? And so a lot of participants could not make for the live session, but we have recorded this and we will be sending a link to all the participants. Now we have more than like 500 registrations for the final competition. And a small tip I can tell you is that the brief will be released on Tuesday. So then after that, you will be getting 1 week to sort of, come up with your submissions. So, but anyway, stay tuned in and we will keep you informed. So I want to thank Chaminda Dias once again, the Director of Media Services. Um, then I also want to thank all of you for taking time off to listen to Chaminda, and I definitely believe this was very useful and insightful, and it will definitely help you to come up with some ideas to change culture around reducing food waste. And lastly, I also want to thank Kolita Disanayaka, who has been organizing and driving this program forward. So, Koli, thank you so much to you also. So, guys, stay tuned in, and we will get in touch with you shortly. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant evening. Bye.